Welcome back. As promised, this is episode 2 of our series Emotional Intelligence. Now, in the first episode, we talked about what emotional intelligence actually is and why is it so difficult for us to be emotionally intelligent, especially for the generations who grew up in survival and not in emotional safety. And today, I want to take this conversation a step ahead and talk about the area of our life where most of us struggle the most: romantic relationships. So, whether you are married, divorced, separated, single, confused, tired, just gotten married, or been married for decades, this conversation is for you. Most people come into relationships believing that emotional intelligence looks a certain way. They think it means being expressive, saying I love you, I miss you often, talking about your day, each and everything in their life, grand gestures, big surprises, being emotionally available all the time. Well, that's a part of being emotionally intelligent. In therapy, I often sit with individuals or couples where both people are hurting. Not because love is missing, but because love is spoken in two different emotional languages. One person feels, if you really loved me, you would know it. And the other person feels, if you really loved me, you would have seen the efforts I put into our relationship. But by the end of it, they both feel unseen. And that is where I tell people to slow down, pause. Because emotional intelligence in romantic relationships is not just about being emotional. It's emotional plus physical plus behavioral. Actions matter. Sometimes it looks like words, and sometimes it looks like actions, and sometimes it looks like silence. For example, bringing that glass of water your partner did not ask you for, switching off that light when your partner is sleeping, sitting with them silently when they feel emotionally overwhelmed, spending time with them and getting to know them without interrogating them, bringing them that gift they have been longing for a long time, standing up for them when they want your support, not touching them when they need space, and touching gently when they feel unsafe. Sometimes emotional intelligence is talking, and sometimes it is to know when not to talk. Now, if you're thinking, why does this feel so difficult? Why wasn't this obvious to me? Want to know the honest answer? Dekho, most of us did not see emotionally intelligent relationships while growing up. What did we witness instead? Silence being called maturity, adjustment being called love, sacrifice being called commitment, and needs being labeled as selfishness. And then when we grow up and enter romantic relationships, we are not loving from awareness. We are loving from conditioning. We either copy what we saw or we swing to the opposite extreme. In both the cases, we are reacting. We are not choosing. And sometimes we also look outside of our homes for this emotional intelligence. Kind of templates. What a healthy relationship looks like. And what do we do? Movies, series, television, stories. And what do we learn from there? Intensity, drama, possession, grand gestures, jealousy. But real emotional intelligence is not loud. It is consistent. For example, so many of us admire Shah Rukh Khan. Outside the movies, watch his interviews. What does he do? He listens, he pauses, and he responds. Because that is what it looks like. And if you have seen, his children also show that behavior in public life at least. That is because emotional intelligence cannot be learned from speeches. It comes from being modeled consistently. Yes. Also, when we are in a romantic relationship, a lot of ego comes in, unhealthy ego, and then the super ego. If you don't know about this theory called id, ego, super ego, you should read about it. Healthy ego says, I need certain things and you need certain things. But what does unhealthy ego say? If you really loved me, you would not need anything else. And then this super ego, it's that little voice in our head which tells us what a good partner is. Sacrifice, adjust, don't complain, don't ask for too much. That is what will make you a good partner. This little voice in your head says. So what happens? Either people start over-functioning or they start emotionally shutting down or staying silent while building resentment. And then one day we say, we fell out of love. Well, as a therapist, I really want to tell you, most of us don't fall out of love. We fall out of emotional safety. Emotional intelligence in relationships asks for very simple things, but brave things. It asks you to notice your partner's nervous system, love language, attachment style. It asks you to respect the boundaries of your partner, to repair conflict without keeping the score, to offer small but consistent gestures, to unlearn what love looked like in your childhood home. It's not about being perfect, it is about being present. And that presence is something that creates intimacy. If this video made you pause or recognize yourself or made you teeny weeny bit uncomfortable, well, that's not a bad thing. That is awareness beginning. Please share this video with someone who needs this conversation and subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss the next episode where we will talk about what emotional intelligence looks like with parents. Often the most triggering relationship of all. And remember, love doesn't fail because people don't care. It fails because most of us were never taught how to care emotionally and consistently. I'll see you in the next one.